Hello to Home Baking 2020 with Etna from Etna's by the Sea, brought to you from Sligo Leader Partnership Company in conjunction with SciCap, a social inclusion activation, community activation fund, and funded by the Irish Government and the European Social Fund. We hope you enjoy this. We're going to do spiced chicken today, and we'll make a start by making our spices. So we're using as a base corn flour, and we're going to just put some corn flour into a bowl. And on the table here, on this plate, I have a mixture of dried and ground coriander, some Cajun spice, some dried cumin, and some paprika. All these spices can be interchanged with what you have in the cupboard. So if you don't have paprika, don't worry about it. You can use just Cajun spice. If you haven't got coriander or cumin, the same. You can mix and match to find a spice mix that you like. So we're just going to put the spices in on top of the corn flour. You can mix them all up together. And on top of that, we're going to add some seasoning, some salt, about a teaspoon of salt, and some crushed black pepper. And it really depends on how much black pepper you like. If you like black pepper, you can put in a lot. If you don't, just a little bit, or even leave it out altogether. We're just going to give that a mix. And I like to see a little bit of colour coming through, because the colour will show through on the chicken. So I've just mixed that up now. So we have our spices mixed. I've given them a little taste to see that I like the flavour, and I have my chicken. The chicken is just small fillets of chicken. You can make them even smaller if you like. We don't want them to take too long to cook, and I've marinated them in milk. You can marinate them overnight, or you can do it if you haven't had time to do it overnight. You can leave them for at least 20 minutes in the milk. It just gives them a nicer milky and white kind of flavour. So I'm just shaking off the excess liquid, and then I'm going to dip them into the flour and spice mix. From there, I have a hot pan already heated with some oil, and I'm just going to place them in the pan. So you try not to get too much liquid in your flour mixture. Just toss them about and onto the pan. The chicken is quite thin, so it won't take too long to cook. I'd say maybe 10 minutes, but it's best to check it. So when you think that it's cooked after 10 minutes, you can just cut one in the thickest part in half, just to make sure that all the chicken is completely cooked. It's best when you're putting it in the pan to have the pan heated. You really have to have it nice and hot. You also need to make sure that you don't put too many in the pan, because you want it nice and crispy. So instead of doing a whole lot at one time, you might make a batch of 2. So our chicken is cooking nicely for about 5 minutes on one side. So I'm just going to turn them. I have the tongs here, which is easy to pick up the chicken pieces with, and give them a turn. Now they do absorb quite a lot of oil, so you might need to put some more oil in if you think the pan is getting too dry. Just allow it a few minutes to warm up. Some people might also like to finish them in the oven, just to be sure that they're completely cooked, and you can do that as well. We've just taken our chicken out of the oven, and I'm just going to check to make sure that the chicken is completely cooked. So just place it on the board and cut it through the thickest part, and just check that it's completely white and cooked through. If you like, you can use the chicken just like it is, our spiced chicken. Or another option, if you prefer, is to warm up a tortilla. And I've mixed here some mayonnaise with some yogurt. And I place the mayonnaise, and the yogurt just gives it like that sour cream flavour. I have a little bit of onion. And I'm going to chop some slices of tomato. And I have an avocado, which we'll just peel. It's lovely and ripe, just perfect. And the skin is just peeling off it. Slice it fairly thinly. This is just the ingredients that I have in my cupboard, but if you had just tomato and onion, it will be fine. If you would like to put some grated cheese on top of that as well, it would be fine as well. If you wanted, if you had some of the pesto, you could drizzle a little bit of pesto over it too. And just roll it up with the chicken. And this is our spiced tortilla wrap. And we can serve it with some nice potato wedges. So we have some potato wedges to serve with the spiced chicken. I've washed 2 rooster potatoes, and I'm leaving the skins on for they're much healthier like that, but if you prefer to peel them, you can peel them. So we're doing like a mini takeaway. So we're doing slicing the potato in half, and then I'm just cutting it into wedges. Maybe 4, maybe 3, depending on the size of the potato. So I'm getting 4 out of each. I'm putting those into a bowl. And then I'm getting some nice rapeseed oil, raw rapeseed oil. And I'm just going to measure it because I don't want to use too much. I'm using about a tablespoon or even less. And I'm going to mix them around in the oil. I have a baking sheet with some parchment paper. I think the parchment paper is really important so that the potatoes don't stick. They're going to go into a hot oven, and if you like, you can use some of the spices to spice them up. Just depends on whether your family like the spiced wedges or not. A little bit of paprika, the Cajun spice again, give them that nice flavour. Otherwise, if you like, you can use a little bit of Maldon sea salt over them. And they'll go into a hot oven around 200 degrees, and they should only take about 25 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. Sometimes when I'm at home and I'd like them quicker, I put them on a plate first with some cling film and maybe microwave them for about 5-6 minutes. Then I take the cling film off and put them on my baking sheet. And it just speeds up the process. So if you're in a hurry and you prefer to have them quicker, you can do it like that as well. So if you're serving them with your spiced potato, it will be a good idea to do these in the oven first, because your potato only takes, or your spiced chicken only takes about 10 minutes to cook. So now we're going to take our potato wedges out of the oven. And they're nicely browned. They're looking good, and they're very nice served with our spiced chicken, or if you like to serve them with your chicken tortilla wrap. and use up some of the leftover mayonnaise and yogurt mix, just to put a little dip on the side, and even a touch more chili and garlic pesto. And that's our tortilla. That's our tortilla wrap with spiced chicken, our potato wedges, and our natural yogurt and mayonnaise mix. And we did a chili and garlic pesto at an earlier video.